Hi everyone, it's me Davina again. First I want to say I am so sorry for not being able to be available the past 2 Mondays, the first and the third Monday that I said that I would show up. It's still a balancing act on working, not giving any excuse, so I don't want to. But I also want to tell you, behind the background, I am still a mom, just like mothers out there. I am still a wife, and I am still working as well. And so the balance of being able to fit this in is going to take some time, adjusting for me, and I'm more than willing to do it. But I do want to be accountable and let you know that I am truly responsible for not showing up. No matter what the situation was, whether it be sickness, having family come in, anything unexpected, from here on out, if I can't show up the Monday that I tell you that I will, every first or third, I will leave you a little short. And that's what I should have done, because it was really an easy solution to do, and I didn't even think about how I was going to do that. I would post up a short for you to know that I wouldn't be able to show up that Monday. But to not waste any more time on these 2 Mondays that I had missed. If you have seen any of my other videos, and this is the video where I tell you one of the options you could do when you have your notary certificate. And one of those options, which is very exciting, only if this is something that would fit your needs, depending on your personality, is you could be a signing agent. A signing agent is also called a closing agent. In another way, so you might hear that, or a notary that comes in, that's used for real estate. So, and in other countries, in other states, it might be something else. But a closing agent, an NSA agent, a signing agent, if you've heard any of those terminologies and you like the real estate atmosphere or the vibe of being into the real estate scene, this is something that you might be interested in. And it does take time to learn these. If you want to do this really well and you want to be able to do it successfully, this is loan signings that you would do. So this deals with banks. You're having to go over bank statements, not bank statements literally, but bank legal paperwork when someone wants to buy a house. All those paperwork going through the process of all different instruments that they use, and you'll do notarizations that will need to be done in certain instruments. Another term is certain documents that needs to be done in order for the county, the bank, the lender, or the title company need to have in order for the process to be complete. Me personally, I found this very fascinating. I was very excited to learn this aspect. I didn't know anything about it, and I was very grateful that I was introduced, as I mentioned before, that this was something that I could do, and I didn't have to spend years in going to college to do this. I became very passionate about it. So you learn legal terms of what documents are, and once you get that down, once you go through, don't be so hard on yourself to expect to know all of it right away, because that's what I did. I made myself study for almost a year before I actually went for it. And you might call that OCD, you might call that, I don't know, doubt, because you are dealing with people's, money. When it comes with, you're not having to do any of the things that the banks have to do, but when you have the documents and they're completed through all these levels of offices and they're ready to be signed, that's when you come in. You get all the documents, and it might be a stack is this big, it might be this big, whatever it may be. Your job is to bring these documents to the closer, whether it is someone that wants to buy their very first home, whether this is something that a second home, whether it's something that maybe they're wanting to sell and they've already bought a home. Your job is to go in with those documents with the knowledge of what they're going to go through and sign. Guide them through that. Guide them through the documents. Make it comfortable for them. Get their signatures. And I love it. It's a great feeling to be able to help somebody go through something that's very, stressful. If you've ever had to buy a house and you've never bought one before, those documents can be stressful. It's a big investment. But the wonderful thing is being a closing agent, a signing agent, an NSA, a notary for realtors, whatever you want to call it. It is a privilege for myself, I feel, and anyone that I've ever talked to that has done this job, to be able to be there and be as pleasant and make the process as comfortable and smooth for the other end, for the signer. It really is. And once you get it down, you're able to bring the documents, have them all completed, and then either FedEx them, UPS them back to whoever they need to go to, or bring those documents to the title company. And with this, comes a good pay. The more that you get comfortable, the more that you are, you process these documents with no errors, and the more that you are familiar with what you're doing, the more benefits you get, as in like the higher pay. When you start off, keep in mind, everyone has to start from somewhere. Don't expect to know and remember every document. Have your notes with you. If you don't remember, it's okay. You'll have remember the terminology. Have a little, like I said, notes with you to carry with you, so you're knowing, how to finish the process, and you're not just making up stuff as you go. You want to memorize by experience. The more that you do it, more that you memorize what you need to do, the more that you will enjoy it. And that is something, when you start, you might start with, any pay as little as, depending on what they need done. Sometimes it's one document that they need signed because of the fact of they forgot something. Sometimes, it's just 5 documents, whatever it is, which is great, because usually they start you off very small, knowing that you haven't had your certificate of your signing agent certificate very long. They could tell when you started, and they're not going to make you do something incredibly hard and thick. They're just not going to. You've got to build a trust. And honestly, some people may not like that. Some people may be like, well, I want to start making money right away, but it will only benefit you. And you've got to kind of think of it this way. If this is something that you think that you want to do, because again, this is something that was, every time I close something, I would get more than 50% of the time someone asked me, how do I do this? How do I get in this job? Because I really make it so smooth for them and pleasant. And they may not like their job, but they ask me, how did I even do this? You have to, when you do this and you have the process of doing a lot, or not a lot, doing more, maybe you get to the point of doing one signing closing a week, maybe when you first start off. You may want to do more. And the thing is, you've got to build trust with the person that hired you. And that's another thing we could talk about. How do you get these jobs? How do you get a job like that? It's another question. So I'm going to leave you there and let you know that this is one job you could get with your notary certificate. And you could look that up if you want. You could be a signing agent in real estate. And that is really, I think, a very fascinating thing to do. It's a great opportunity. And the next time I see or do another video, I could tell you how you could get one of those jobs. But in the meantime, I thank you again for allowing me to take this time to apologize and be here for you and support you. I hope that if you're watching this, that you've already made the step, you've already got your certificate, you've already applied, you passed the background criminal check, and now you're waiting for the next step. What options can you do? Well, that's one of those options. You could be a signing agent in the real estate field. So that is one. The next one will be in a totally different field. So if you have any questions, please post them so I can answer it. And again, thank you for spending your time with me. Have a good night. Bye. The next one will be a different field, and we'll talk about that one. Not this Monday, but 2 Mondays from now.